guys, this is Kelly and welcome to video 2 of how to go from an idea all the way to a published book. How are you? I hope you're doing really well. I'm doing well. I'm filming more videos than I thought I would today, so there's that. Today we're going to talk about writing, and the actual meat and potatoes part of this. And I don't want to give too many suggestions or anything on this because I think writing is very personal and you have to do it the way that makes you feel comfortable and goes with your process. Every writer has a process. We all do. And it's totally different. All my friends write differently than I do, and that's fine. And they all write differently from each other. These are just some kind of tips to get you through the writing part. Things that I wish people had kind of told me in the beginning. So here we go. The first thing I want to talk about is word count versus time versus muse. Some people wait for their muse to strike before they write anything, which is fine. If you don't have a deadline, go for it. Now that may mean that you don't get a book finished, but if you're okay with that, more power to you. Some people write based on time. They're like, I'm going to write an hour a day. I'm going to write 2 hours a day. I'm going to write 8 hours a day. Whatever you can give up. And however many words I write in that time, great. Wonderful. Some people write based on word count. I'm more of a word count person myself. Like, I'm going to write 100 words today. I'm going to write 500 words today. I'm going to write 1,000 words today. I'm going to write 2,000 words today. Some people have 10,000 word days. You kind of have to pick which section you're in, because most people are kind of in one of those three groups, and kind of go with that. If you're really pushing to get a book finished, I wouldn't necessarily go the muse method, because your muse can be fickle. So if you want to, go for it. But if you have set a deadline for yourself in your brain, I want to have this book finished by the end of the year, sometimes your muse might not let you do that. And sometimes you might not feel like writing, but when you sit down, words flow out. So even if you're not feeling it, you might want to try to sit down and write just to see what comes out of it. But that's just my 2 cents. Number 2, for your first line, don't think about it too much for now. Go back and think about it later, because that's what kind of hooks your readers. But when you're first writing on your first draft, don't worry about your first line. Do more. I close my eyes and just go. Just go with it. That's how I start all my books. Take a deep breath, close my eyes, and write. Yes, I write with my eyes closed sometimes. It's exciting. So that's the best way to kind of get out of your head, to kind of get the story flowing, and don't try to think too much about the first line yet. When you get your book finished, go back and tweak it. But for now, just write the first line and go for it. Number 3, okay, this is kind of a technical thing. If you're in Word, Microsoft Word, don't use the tab to indent your paragraphs. Go up to the paragraph little tab section and hit paragraph, hit indent, and line hanging. And that's how you set up your paragraphs. And that way it'll be better in editing, or not in editing, in formatting. Also, this is what I did 8 years ago. Well, I guess it was longer than that. 9 years ago, when I started writing my first book, I was always taught the 2, you know what I'm talking about, the 2 inners after each line. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. You only have to do it once, which is lovely. So don't hit the tab button ever, and only hit the inner one time, or hit the space bar, not the inner, the space bar one time after each sentence. You're welcome. Number 4, watch for really long paragraphs, and this is kind of go back after you get things finished, and if you want to go through, do it when you're writing it, that's a good idea too. If you have long paragraph, people tend to skim over it. If you have like a page long paragraph, that's probably a little too much. And people will tend to skim over it, and they won't really look at what you've written. People tend to like things and think in like bullet points. Of course, not bullet points in a book, but you know what I mean, like bullet point sections, small increments is what I'm trying to say. So try to make your paragraphs short if you can, and that way people won't skim over them as much. Number 5, you need to go back and self-edit before you send it off to official edits. You need to look at things like grammar. You need to look at things like point of view. And I have this actually in the next video of the things to look at when you go back and reread your book for self-edits. But you do need to do that. There's some wonderful grammar videos on YouTube. Just search them out. I'm not the best at grammar. My editor will agree with that. Bless her soul. Bless her. She's awesome. But there are some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful videos on YouTube that have to do with grammar. These are some tips from me. These are just some general tips from me to you. Here we go. Don't go back and edit as you write. Don't go back and edit while you write. Because when you go back and edit while you write, sometimes it messes with your flow and you just won't go, you'll second guess yourself and you won't keep going. What I do is I start the first word, I write the last word, and I'll change as I go through. People's names will change, anything will change, point of view, tense will all change, but you just keep going, and then when you finish with it, you can go back to the beginning and change it. But that way, it's already finished, and you finished your book, and once your book is finished, you're more than likely gonna figure out how to get it published because it's already finished, and you're proud of it, and you want people to read it. Also, very important, do not publish your first draft. Do not do it. First drafts are terrible. They just are. Everybody's are terrible. Everybody's first drafts are terrible. Maybe not terrible. They're not great. That's a nicer word. Everybody's first drafts are not great. They need help. Grammar help, plot hole help, some kind of help. They all need help. So please don't publish your first draft. Also, be sure to stand up and stretch your muscles and take care of yourself, because you don't have a deadline yet unless you set one for yourself. But you don't have a publishing deadline. You don't have any kind of deadline yet. You can enjoy the writing process. So make sure to stretch. Make sure to stand up and walk around a little bit, because your legs will hurt and your arms will hurt and your fingers will hurt if you type too much. So make sure to take care of yourself and give yourself a little bit of a break, because you will need it. So that's it. That's my tips on how to get through writing your first draft of your novel or your novella or your short story or whatever you're writing. I hope this has been useful to you. I really do. I hope you found things in this that can help you when you write your book. Tell me in the comments what you want to learn more about, what you want to hear more about, and I will try to make videos longer about that specific subject. Like I said, these are so hard to just put in little outlines of videos to try to get you to, you know, I don't know what. They're just so hard to get in little bitty mini videos to try to get, you know, points across. So I hope I'm doing a good job. I hope I am. Next video is all about editing, self-editing before you send your book off. No, self-editing before you send it off to an editor. And we're going to talk about querying, because next step is when you have to figure out if you're going to self-publish or if you're going to go toward a traditional route. So be looking forward to that. Subscribe to this channel if this is a series you would like to see more of. I'm going to continue it, of course, but if you want to see more writerly things like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. If this video is in any way something that you like, what are your tips to get through the first draft of any book? Please put it in the description. Please put it in the comments. And if you have any tips to get through the first draft of a book, please put those in the comments too, because I know I have a lot of people on my channel that have written books, and you can help everybody else with their getting through the first draft too. Alright guys, I'm going to go. I hope you have a fantabulous day or fantabulous night, and good luck writing your first draft. Remember, the next video is going to be all about editing, and I will see you then. Bye! My big grammar problem is, no, I'm not going to put that in there, so I don't know why I keep doing this. I think I'm a politician. Please subscribe to this channel if this is a series you would love to see more on, and more on.